Over the last 20 years, almost 20 years, about 20 years ago, and between 1996 and 1998, scientists discovered that stem cells can be induced to function as any type of cell in the human body. Who knew? Well, they knew in 20 years ago, and that's when they found it out. And since then, mankind has been on a stem cell craze. They have created ears in the lab, a freaking human ear in the lab. Actually, 3D printed that one using stem cells, and they can grow livers in the lab, or they're close to growing livers in the lab. There is something called obviously we know about organs. We have organs, but then there's also a less sophisticated organ called an organoid, and scientists usually grow organoids, but they work just as well usually as the actual organ itself. So you can grow an organoid in the lab, then transplant it into a human being, and it will work. A vagina has even been vaginas have been grown in the lab. Penises have been grown in the lab, according to a live science article that I will link in the description. Kidneys, kidney organoids, little miniature ones have been grown in the lab. Miniature beating hearts and an actual large heart has been grown in the lab. I've seen the video for that one. That's pretty astonishing. What else? Esophagus can be grown in the lab. Tracheas can be grown in the lab. There is essentially nothing. Even a miniature brain has been grown in the lab using stem cells. The brain was reported to be about as developed as a 5-month-old fetus. So not very developed, but this is 2016 and we just got hold of this technology 20 years ago. What will happen in the next 20 years? Right now, I'm 25. So by the time I'm 45, this will be common practice. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Again, barring any cataclysm, any huge catastrophe befalling mankind, befalling really the richest countries of mankind, because not all of us develop at the same speed, obviously. So befalling the richest of mankind, we're gonna be transplanting eyeballs, for God's sakes, in the near future. And this is eyeballs are particularly sensitive subject for me because I have really thick ass glasses and I'm not really certain that you can see them clearly. But if I were to like hold them up like this, you may even see them poking over the ledge there. These are really thick fucking frames. They're like windows. They're like windows almost. My eyes are abysmal. My vision is abysmal. I actually woke up the other day, and this is I'd never seen this before. I woke up the other day and it was dark. It was dark inside the house. It was about 2:00 in the morning, and I've always noticed that when my glasses are off and it's nighttime, there's some like weird pressure that's on this eye right here, on my right eye. There's this weird pressure that I feel, but I just felt like my eye was just very weak. Well, this particular night, a couple days ago, I closed one of my eyes and I left my right eye open just to see what it's like to view out of it. And it turns out that my vision was black. There was this big black spot in the middle of my vision, and I kind of freaked out a little bit. I was calm on the outside, but inside I was petrified because I was going blind. I felt like I was going blind, and I still feel like I'm going blind in this one eye. If I were to lose anything, if I were to lose my hearing or my eyesight and I had to choose, I would definitely, without a doubt, choose my hearing. I would choose my hearing 100 times over because I am a very visual person. I love to see the beauty of the world. I want to see the scientific advancements. I want to see history unfold. I want to see my wife and my kid. I don't have a wife and kids, but I want to see my future wife and my future kids. I want to know what I look like when I'm old as shit. I want to know these things. And, if somebody has a beautiful photo, I'm going to save it on my Instagram. Like, I love it. So I love vision. And to realize that I was probably going blind in my right eye was horrifying. But this assures me that, there's also another story that they grew teeth in the lab too. Yes, they grew teeth. So there's nothing in our way from growing eyeballs at some point. We're gonna grow eyeballs. And yes, I know that they're extremely complicated, but humans have done complicated shit before, okay? Just give them 20 years. Give them 20 years and let's see what happens. If you go from a discovery 20 years ago, you just found some cell thing, and you just called it a stem cell, and it can morph into any single cell in the human body. And then next thing you know, you're creating kidneys and brains and esophaguses and penises and vaginas. You can grow eyeballs giving it 40 years time from the time you started. So yeah, expect that. Blindness, we don't have to rely on LASIK eye surgery. We wouldn't have to rely on cataract or removing cataracts. You don't have to rely on any of these sorts of things. You can just get a new eyeball. And who knows, healthcare may even be free at that time. So, they'll raise our taxes, and when they raise our taxes, we get new eyeballs. That's the future right there. And that's a future that I'm definitely looking forward to having. So, more good news coming out of planet Earth, and just stay tuned.